In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about using support material when printing with your Fabricator 3D printer, including when to use it and how to add it using the KissSlicer program. If you're unfamiliar with KissSlicer, feel free to also check out our other videos on the basics of using the program. Support material is used to hold up sections of a part that would normally collapse during printing because of the part's design. It is then removed after a print is complete. Support material is not automatically added to a design by KissSlicer, so you have to determine on your own whether it is needed for your part. In order to determine if a design will need support or not, you may have to inspect it using the 3D view window. There's an explanation of how to use the 3D window in the beginning of our video titled KissSlicer STL Manipulation. Support is only needed when your design contains an angle of 45 degrees or more on the up and down z-axis. So assuming that printing straight up into the air is an angle of 0 degrees, and printing directly to the right is an angle of 90 degrees, any angle up to 45 degrees will print successfully without requiring support material. An angle greater than 45 degrees into thin air will result in drooping material or a completely failed print if done without support. For example, the front end of this Tree Frog STL design file from the Sample STL Files folder will print successfully because the angle is less than 45 degrees. This means that each layer can build from previous layers as it prints up from the bed, and it will not collapse without support. However, the Lucky Elephant design found in the same folder requires support, as the angle slowly climbs beyond 45 degrees, and the underside of the elephant rests on nothing at all. I'm going to click on the tab labeled Support, which is the first in from the left. In this window, there's a drop-down menu with 4 options controlling the amount of support you want added to your part. They range from no support to extra support. These 4 default choices pretty much just control the settings of these 2 bars. The top bar is the density of the support material, and you can alter that anywhere from having it turned off to ultra support, with a number of choices in between. This, of course, is going to control how solid the support material is. And the second bar controls where the support will go based on the angles in your design, like we just talked about. The number here represents an angle on the up and down z-axis in degrees. The other settings contained on this page could be used to fine-tune the results you'll get from a print with support. Hover over any of them with your mouse to get a short explanation of what they control. For some of these settings, I'll slice an STL file with 2 different values as I explain them. Then using this Models and Paths button up top and this slider bar along the side, I will demonstrate what changed about the support on the sliced file. Inflate support will increase the size of your support on the X and Y axes by whatever number you put in here. All values in KissSlicer are in millimeter. As you can see, after slicing the STL file with a higher value in this box, the support bulges out to the sides around the object. The gap setting will control the size of the gap between the object and the sides of the support. This gap keeps the support from sticking to the object in places where you don't want it to. Here you can see a gap between the support and the wall of the design. Below that you have the Support Z-Roof setting. This can be used to stop the addition of support to the print at whatever height you put here. To the right of that is the option to turn on Sheathed Main Support. This will put a wall around the outside of the support material, making it stronger. This can make it easier to get the support off of the outside of an object, but much harder to get it out of an area that is enclosed within a design. Over here we have the settings for the raft. These settings are by default set to skirt, which is why every print begins with a trace of your design that is not actually part of the object. This serves to clean off any material that build up on your nozzle during the heating process. You do have the option to set this to grid, which will print an actual raft beneath your object. The term raft refers to an added bottom layer, which prints flat on the bed before your part is printed on top. This is intended to help with parts that won't stick easily to the bed. However, the raft will most likely not come off of your part very easily. This setting is much more useful with a dual head printer, like the MX series Fablicator, where two separate materials can be used. The third option in the drop-down menu is Pillar. This was an experimental setting added to this version of KissSlicer, and does not work well at all. Lastly, we have the option to turn on the Prime Pillar. This just adds a cylinder that prints separately from your object, so that the nozzle is cleaned off between each layer. This is another setting that is generally only used on dual head printers. After your print is done, the only thing left to do is remove the support. For this, you will want a pair of pliers and a flathead screwdriver. There are probably other ways of doing this, but I normally just like to pull the support off with the pliers and then try to smooth out any rough spots left behind on the part itself. Thanks for watching this video, and check out our other videos for more information on using your Fablicator.